In Exodus chapter 25, Moses receives detailed instructions from the Lord on how to construct the tabernacle. Every nuance of the tabernacle, including the material list, the dimensions, the color schemes, it was all laid out for him in blueprint fashion for Moses to construct this place for God to dwell among his people.
Well, today the prophet Ezekiel
has a very similar experience concerning the new temple in Jerusalem, except his comes through a vision. Stay with me today, and we'll get a glimpse of what this temple blueprint would look like. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Set Sail with Grace Harbor. Today we're going to tackle something monumental. Ezekiel chapters 40 through 42. Now, these chapters can feel dense and a little intimidating, but they're incredibly important. Think of them as a divine blueprint. First up is the vision. So, where are we? Well, the year is 573 BC, 14 years after Jerusalem has fallen. Ezekiel, who's been in Babylon now for about 50 years, well, he's had some incredible visions before, like the one of the vision of dry bones and the bones coming back to life. But this one is a little different. He's taken to a very high mountain, and he sees what looks like a city. And there's a man. Now, this man, whose appearance is like bronze, has a linen cord and a measuring rod. This vision is like a detailed architectural tour, which brings us to the outer court. Now, the man with the measuring rod begins his work. He starts with the outer court. Ezekiel watches as he measures the outer wall, the gates, and the guardhouses. These gates are huge, with chambers for the guards and a large inner entrance. Everything is precise, measured down to the exact cubit. There's no guesswork here. The sheer level of detail, the gates that face east, north, south, it shows it isn't some quick sketch. This is a divine plan. The inner court and the temple are next. Now, this inner court is the heart of the temple complex. It has its own set of gates, and the man measures them just as meticulously as he did the outer ones. Inside this court is a temple building itself. Now, Ezekiel describes the front porch, the holy place, and the most holy place. He even gets into the specifics of the windows and the carvings of the cherubim and the palm trees on the walls and the wooden altar. What's key here is the perfection of the design. Everything is symmetrical and precise. It's a stark contrast to the destroyed temple that's in Jerusalem that the Israelites knew. Now we get to the description of the chambers. Chapter 41 and 42 focus on the temple's structure and the surrounding chambers. The man measures the side chambers of the temple, which are stacked into 3 stories, and there's a building on the west. Then they go to the north and to the south and to all the other sides of the court to measure 2 large sets of chambers for the priests. Now, these chambers were for storing all the priestly garments and for the eating of the holy offering. And again, there's lots and lots of details. The entire complex is not just a place for worship, but it's perfectly organized as a functional sanctuary. So, why is this vision so detailed? Why all the measurements? Why all the specific architectural vision? Well, it's not about just this building. The temple represents God's presence among his people. The temple in Jerusalem, well, it was destroyed because of the nation's sins. This new, perfectly measured temple represents a restoration and holiness that God will bring back to the land. It's a vision of the promise that God will dwell among his people again. The precision of the measurements emphasizes the divine perfection of this future reality. It's God's promise to make all things right and to establish a new, pure dwelling place. So to recap these 3 chapters, in a nutshell, we have a divine blueprint. Ezekiel sees a vision of a new, massive temple complex, complete with all the detailed measurements that are needed. a divine architectural plan. The sheer level of detail from the gates and the side chambers, it emphasizes the perfection and holiness of God's future dwelling place. This vision is a message of hope. And after the destruction of the first temple, this new temple promises that God will restore his people and his presence will, in fact, return in perfect order. It represents a hope and a promise for those in exile, and their nation will once again flourish, and God will dwell among them. You know, the same can be said for us. We have a vision of God in our future. As Christians, we know we will spend eternity in heaven with God in his perfect dwelling place that he has prepared for us. Something that I'm looking forward to, and I hope you are too. I'm really glad you could join me here on Set Sail today, and I hope you're gleaning more from your daily readings through the Bible as we go through this together this year. As always, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think about these passages. And I look forward to seeing you here again soon. Bye-bye for now.